friends. Today we are going to make this cute zombie cupcake cake with his cute little cherry zombie friend. I'm Hui Win of Cocoa Belly Cakes and I love making sculpted cakes like these. If you've never made a sculpted cake or a 3D cake, I think this would be a great one to start with. Everything I use is linked to in the description below, so here we go.
We're going to start by making the base of the cupcake. And we're going to make it upside down because it's going to be easier, trust me. Definitely make sure your cake is cold. This is so important when you're sculpting cakes. A warm or room temperature cake is going to fall apart when you try carving it. So take your cold 6-inch cake and put it on the cake board. And I'm using this takeout container as a template. Just find anything round that's slightly narrower than your cake. And you're going to cut down on a diagonal from the edge of the container to the edge of the cake. Do that all the way around and look a cupcake shape. Give that a thin coat of buttercream and smooth it out. Stick that in the fridge to firm up while we work on the brain. For the brain, take your other cold 6-inch round cake and cut a ridge down the middle, like brains have between the two lobes, right? And just start rounding things out. This doesn't need to be super realistic because this is a cartoony cake, and it's a zombie brain. It's been through a lot. The main thing you want to achieve is to split down the middle and round out those sides. Give your brain a coat of buttercream. It's fine if it's not perfectly smooth because this is all going to be covered with big brain squiggles anyway. Once you're done, stick that in the fridge to firm up. Now let's make the cupcake wrapper. I'm going to use fondant to make the wrapper, but you can totally use buttercream instead too. For fondant, I dyed some white fondant green using green gel color. I need to roll out a piece of fondant that's at least 18 inches long and 3 inches wide, and I know because I measured it. Roll out the fondant with a rolling pin, then spray the surface of the cake with water to help the fondant stick. Wrap the fondant around the cake and cut off the excess. Then smooth out the fondant. You can use your hand or you can use this little flexible plastic thing that I have. Then I'm taking a skewer and pressing it into the side of the cake to make creases. You can use anything with a straight edge. Now let's get this cake onto its final resting place. Put a smudge of buttercream on the cake stand so it acts as glue so the cake won't go flying off later. Then flip the cake over, and then we have our cupcake wrapper. To make the face, figure out the front of the cake. I don't care how amazing your cake skills are, there is always a good side of the cake. In the center of the good side, pop a hole for the mouth. I like using a Dresden tool for this because the shape makes a perfectly tiny little mouth. For the eyes, I rolled out a thin piece of black fondant. To make the round eye, I punched a hole using a bubble tea straw. For the X eye, I just cut 2 strips of fondant, then attached these with a tiny bit of water. It's time to finish the brain. Smooth some buttercream on top of the wrapper and pop that brain right on top. I filled the piping bag with buttercream colored pink using gel color. Then using the fattest circle tip I had, I piped the squiggles on for the brain. Start on one side of that center line, then do the other side. Keep doing matching patterns on either side of the line until the whole brain is covered with a single layer of fat squiggles. It's zombie cherry time. Make a ball with red fondant and pop a hole in the top for the stem. The eyes are just going to be like the cupcake eyes. For each, I cut strips of black fondant and attached them as crosses. The mouth is just another piece of black fondant. For the tongue, I made pink fondant from red and white, pop a hole for the mouth and stick that tongue in. And finally, that cherry stem is just an uncooked rice noodle that I painted with gel color. And we're done with this cute zombie cake and his zombie cherry friend. Let me know if you tried this cake, I would love to see it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, share, or leave a comment. Until next time, happy caking!